I'm proud of you.
2 minutes.
$1, please.
I'm Tim Shirts, and I was raised in Arizona. I'm actually a third generation Arizonan, but I knew when it was good to get out of Arizona. I married an Idaho girl, class of '79 from Blackfoot High, and I served 12 years on the city council in Perth. When I got in there, I was told that you aren't going to get anything you want. When I left, and I left because I knew I'd done enough time, I had just about everything I wanted done. I've also served as a firefighter EMT. I've done 4,500 12-hour shifts, most of it volunteer work, over the last 17 years. I've been there for the people of Bingham County, in northern Bingham County, when they needed it, and when they needed the help the worst. And the one thing I am running for, and the big elephant in the room that I see right now that we need to look at is, as this development comes in, we need to figure out a way to fund our schools through, I would say, impact fees, if the legislature will act and help us to make that legal to do so. If we don't, we can have all the tax cuts and all the things that we need to have, but our taxes are going to go up because we'll have to build those schools without some additional help from the developers. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for coming out tonight. Thank you, Chamber of Blackfoot and the senior citizens for hosting this event. My name is Victor Salinas. I was actually born in McAllen, Texas. At the age of 9, my parents moved us up here to Blackfoot. My dad farmed up here in his younger days. And this is where I made my home ever since then. I went to Blackfoot High School, graduated from Blackfoot High School. After graduation, it took me a little bit of time to find my groove, to see what I want to do. I wanted to do welding. I've done some farming, did some medical work as a CNA and X-ray technician. And then I found construction, and that's where I landed. I've been in construction for 18 years, working for Bingham County, and that's what I love to do. In my 18 years of experience, I finally decided I'm going to put my name in and run for commissioner and try to level up my position and help our community become a lot better. I have little ones in the school system in the Snake River area, and I recently found out she's bringing home a lot of fundraising. I don't understand why. Well, I do understand why. Our children don't have the funding that they need. Our schools don't have the funding that they need. So we need to figure out a way to get them more money. I appreciate your time.
Hello, I'm Drew Jensen. I'm running for re-election in Bingham County Commissioner, District 1. I've farmed and ranched my whole life. I'm married to Nolene Jensen. She was Freeman. I changed that better for her. But we have 4 boys, and we raised them all on the farm and the ranch. I've served 13 years on the school board in Perth. I've been on the water board for Snake River Valley Irrigation. I'm currently serving as the president of Eastern Idaho Grazing Association. We run cattle up on from Brush Creek to Paradise to Little Creek. I'm excited to try this new chapter in my life. It's been an experience that I've really enjoyed. Probably the most rewarding part is to rub shoulders with people that I have never rubbed shoulders with before, and to understand the other side of the coin. You know, we kind of get content in our own way of life, and sometimes we don't like to see the other side of the coin. In this position of sitting as a county commissioner, our responsibility is to look for the benefit for all county members instead of those that we just agree with. And so it's a privilege. I'm still getting my feet wet. I feel like I've learned a lot. I've enjoyed meeting a lot of people, and would really like to continue to do so.
Hello, I apologize, I didn't lose my voice this afternoon, so hopefully we can get through it. But appreciate the chamber and the senior center here and those all involved to put this on this evening. It's probably one of the things we can be doing on Friday night this year. And the reason for that is I'm running for re-election. I've been in the running for re-election. Again, I've been there for a few years. I grew up in the Blackfoot area. I'm a lifetime resident of Dane County. Grew up on a dairy farm. My dad was 4 years at Silicon Station in One. Was a retired school teacher. And when I started with the fire department, was there 24 years. We still ran the dairy with all of us, and graduated from Blackfoot High School, and I farmed several thousand acres at that time. And then had an opportunity to get on as a volunteer as a firefighter. A couple of years, the fire chief asked if I'd put in for full time, and I did, and I really enjoyed that time I served there, serving the citizens of Beacon County, and then I ran for commissioner. I've been there for several years, so I've served basically in our community for 39 years at this time, and feel like I can still like to serve, and I enjoy this community, my family. Grew up here, and the kids have all kind of moved on to bigger and better things. And this is, I enjoy working with the individuals in our county and the different departments and the other elected officials. And it's always been a big thing to me to have a budget that when the auditors come in, why we're where we're supposed to be and live in the means we have. And with that, I appreciate the opportunity to be here tonight and answer some questions.
Okay, so we're going to start on the first question with Mr. Manwaring and then work down the table. Are you ready? Describe a time you changed your mind on a significant issue, and what caused that change?
Well, being in the commissioner's seat, we have individuals that call. In the commissioner's seat, we have individuals that call with an issue in the county. And so, obviously, we ought to put them on the agenda because one commissioner can't promise anybody anything and get anything done. It takes two commissioners out of three. And I probably don't have one particular one, but there's several times the individual comes in with this problem and they tell you what that is, and you kind of have your mindset kind of where you're leaning. Until they come in on the agenda, other people can come in and you hear both sides of the story. And so until I hear both sides of the story and weigh that, then I sometimes have changed my mind on that, but it's been multiple situations like that in the chambers.
My experience is a little different. I was on the school board, and our superintendent approached us about going to a 4-day school week, and I was totally against it because I thought the kids need to be in the school. But as we heard all the sides of the story and considered the savings it would give to the budget between the busing and the power, and maybe kids being in school by having a day off that they could go to the doctor or whatever it might be. And now as you look at a 4-day school week, every district in Bingham County goes to a 4-day school week because not only the parents like it, the teachers like it, and the kids like it. And so I was able to see both sides of the story and change.
This on? Okay. You know, I was thinking about that question while these two other gentlemen were answering. One thing that came to mind is when I was volunteering with Blackfoot with baseball. I was volunteering as a coach, and I also sat on their board. I was at a board meeting, and I had this great idea of a tournament, how to run it, things like that. Well, one of the other board members who ran tournaments, and he informed me that my ideas weren't going to work, and he educated me as to why. So that changed my mind on my training thinking. So as long as, I think if we educate ourselves all the time, you know, and that's, as a commissioner, it's also right to educate you as a community, you know, help you better understand our process also. And, you know, that situation changed my mind. Thank you.
During my service on the Perth City Council, we were looking at ways to increase our tax base. We had someone come in and offer to build some apartments or duplexes. At that point, I was for that. But the people of Perth let me know what their feelings were. And I believe in following the voice of the people and hearing what they have to say. And that's my commitment, is to always be available and to make time for the voice of the people so that we can do what the people would like.
What are your thoughts on term limits?
On term limits, that's a subject that comes up pretty regularly. I think it would be a good deal to have term limits. That I'm not here ready to say how many years would be the best for term limits, whether it be 6 or 9. But I feel like that every time the voters vote a new person into the position, whether it's county commissioner, representative, senator, president, well, the president is term limited, but there's new ideas. There's not the as much available to maybe sway votes through bureaucrats and money that is presented. And so I feel that term limits would be a good thing.
I feel the term limits would be a great thing. You know, our founding fathers, they did their time and then went back to their personal farms, ran their personal businesses. I don't know, like Mr. Jensen said, I don't know what that term limit would be. I don't know how many years. But it brings new people in, brings new ideas in. It helps bring our community into the next generation. And I think that's what term limits will help. If we have a commissioner that's been around for 20 years, you know, I feel he probably wouldn't roll with the new generation, and I think that's where the younger generations need to step in and help bring our community into the next generation.
I term limited myself. I could have easily stood for re-election and got it. After 3 terms, I'd accomplished what I wanted to do in the city of Perth. I actually actively called people in the community and invited invited them to run. One of them is now the mayor of Perth. And I think that the best term limit is an honest, good election and people willing to stand up and be heard and to put themselves forward. And that's what we do as candidates. We put ourselves forward and let the people choose in the marketplace of ideas who's going to serve us best. Thank you.
I'm not opposed to, no. I'm not opposed to term limits, but, as a commissioner, you're in a unique situation where you run for 2 years and for 4 years. And Commissioner Jensen just came in on a 2-year term, and I can guarantee you, from my experience, it takes more than a couple terms to understand everything, because there's a lot that we deal with in the county, budgeting and all the departments that we have to deal with, all the money that's involved and grants that come in. And obviously I've been there for a little while and there's still things I'm still learning. But I guess I look at it, if you aren't doing your job, the community knows that, and that's why we have the voting process. So thank you.
Next question has to do with water. The commissioners cannot really affect that, but they're very involved on a day-to-day basis with the fallout from maybe not having enough water. Is the prior appropriation in its current form still viable in Idaho? Or do we need to revamp the whole system? That would be Mr. Salinas.
You know, with water, I don't know what that status is in the current form right now. It's something I will look into. And it's something, it's a discussion every year. You know, water, do we have enough? Do we not have enough? But I think we revisit it every 2 years, you know? And our winter affects everything, so the winter we just had may not affect this year as bad, but it'll affect next season even worse if we don't have something coming in. So I think every 2 years to visit the whole water situation, I think would be great. I think it would give us a better level playing field all around. Thank you.
I've held a state water license.
Sir, that's not, that's a hold it. Just leave it on, don't turn it off.
I hold a state water license and have done so for 25 years. And I've been involved in, sat in on the negotiations and things for water appropriation. And one of the things we miss is where is the value of that water. We need to understand, at one time we had trout farms that had priority over our potato fields. And yet we produce the potato, or the agriculture produces more value than a lot of the other things that we are expending water to. I believe that the state legislature should be involved and with the appropriation of water so that it is done in a fair and balanced way so that everyone in Idaho benefits the best way possible. Thank you.
Okay, I've been involved with the water. I'm on the Riverside Canal Water Board, and we've been in several meetings with the groundwaters. A few years ago, the canal companies tried to help with the pumpers to utilize some of the water in the canals on the surface water to help curtail some that, so they had more water later on in summer. But I've been on this canal for years. As my grandfather took this farm out of Sagebrush, and I own that farm. And the canal runs through it, and we've been in curtailments that the top half of the canal has it the first half of the week, and the bottom half is the other half. But I think the biggest thing here is that the groundwater, surface water users, everybody keeps getting together every year and working on solutions to make this better, maybe better ways to, I know a year or two ago, the measurements and whatever, things like that, I think there's probably a better way to measure, to justify whose water's who. And I was at a meeting a week ago, and we also have to deal with not just the Twin Falls water use, but the tribe has their water rights too that might affect the curtailed water here in Boone County.
As Jillian Young stated, water is the lifeblood of Idaho, and not only in our homes, but within our area to grow crops. We have an agreement. We're in the third year of that agreement. Is it the best agreement that we could have? No, it isn't. Is it better than we had before? Yes, it is. As county commissioners, we have the opportunity to encourage our legislators to look for ways, and I applaud our senator and our representative that went and tried to procure funding in Washington, D.C. to raise the reservoir levels and also to create more storage. Mitigation is a major factor in this groundwater, and so we have to have places that we can put water down in the ground to replenish what we're taking out. Thank you.
Property tax reassessment has just been completed, and many individuals have said their taxes have doubled. State funding of services has been reduced. Can the county pick up some of these areas of need?
I think that the county should really look at what we're doing with our funds and what our tax base is and what we are zoning and bringing in. Because ultimately, you can bring in so many hundreds or thousands of single-family residences, but eventually, it'll take 20 years to get the value out to help support the infrastructure that we're going to have to put in place when we bring them in. So we need to really be honest with impact fees and what our permitting fees are, and look at what we can do to lessen the burden on the taxpayer.
So,
Hello? I don't know if the county could, we need to look at the budget and see how everything goes. In my personal opinion, what I'm seeing, without even looking at the budgets, is the current residents that live here are being taxed to pay for the growth that's coming in. And I don't feel that that's proper, okay? Our infrastructure's gonna suffer from all of it, and the current residents are gonna have to pay to fix that infrastructure. The people moving in aren't the ones paying for it. The people that are building everything aren't the ones paying for it. It's their current residents, and I don't think that's right. And I don't know what the solution to that is, but I think that's a good meeting, good discussion to be had with planning and zoning and tax commissions. Thank you.
assessments for our property taxes. And if we all look at our property taxes, our homes and our farms and different things are undervalued of what current market price is. Our budget for this year, or this year that we're in, is 42 million. Our property taxes bring in 15 million. 10 years ago, our budget was 30 million, and our property taxes was 10 million. So in the 10 years, our budget has increased by 12 million, and we've raised property taxes 5 million. So I give credit to my predecessors for running a good ship and trying to balance our budget to work the best that they can with the money they have. One thing that we all need to remember is sometimes there's restrictions sent down to us out of budget cuts, but we're still mandated to cover those costs. So that's a tricky subject.
So in our county, I feel that the COVID era kind of caused this problem. We had a lot of out-of-staters coming in and buying up these properties, and it obviously made the values of your homes go up. And then the state come in, and so we had to do everything up. And the last 3 years ago on the farm ag ground, the assessor, we had a outside appraiser go around and talk to a lot of the farmers and change instead of the 5-year average of the price of crops, commodities come in. We based that on the rental through Beaman County from Shelley to Aberdeen area, and that actually a lot of areas that lowered that tax. But in 2017, we had $1.7 billion worth of value, property value in our county. And this last year, we had over $5 billion in property value in our county. So when that comes in, that reflects at the end of the budget that we're able to take those numbers and try to keep everybody's taxes down with homeowners exemption that helps also.
Mr. Schertz, I believe you'll be first on this one. What are your thoughts on the continued installation of windmills in Bingham County?
I think the people have spoken.
Yeah, it's not.
I think the people have spoken. They're unhappy with it, and I've looked into the situation as well. Unless they're heavily subsidized by the federal government, which they are not at this time, which means we won't see anything for quite a while until either the profit structure changes or the federal government coughs up more money. So I do not favor installation of any more windmills. I think if it's on private property and it can be proved profitable, maybe there's a case to be made. But at this time, there is not a case to be made for windmills and red lights going off at the side of the mountain and looking up at Idaho's beauty.
Hello? Okay. Plain and simple, I don't like them. I never wanted them here to begin with. Everything I've looked into and all the people that I've talked to about those windmills don't like them either. But from my understanding is we're not gaining anything from it. Our power bills aren't going down. You know, to my understanding, the energy that the windmills produce is being shipped south. I don't know for a fact, but, you know, I don't see my power bill going down, and I'm sure you folks don't see yours going down either. So unless we're gonna benefit from it, why should we have them here? That's my opinion on that. Okay.
So I don't see windmills advancing here in the future with the current president that we have. But we do have some windmills, and they are a benefit to the county. Last year, the receipts from the windmill money that came into the county was about $675,000. And the libraries got a good chunk, the cemetery district got a good chunk, and that's exactly why Representative Furman went through the process of trying to get more money to the Firth School, because the Firth School, all of the windmills are within their district, and they got $7,000, and that was less than anyone else in the district. So there is benefit. Also, Representative Furman went through the process, and they have to put radar detective lights on the windmills to help us with that vantage point.
We'll start out with the windmills up in, the wind farms went up in Firth area. Anyway, yeah, it's, okay, we'll start over. Start out. Okay.
Just talk louder.
Okay, there we go, that's better.
Don't turn it off.
All the same lights are on. But anyway, starting over, in 2007, I believe, when that was approved up there, before I was in the commissioner's seat, and it got sold like 3 times. It took this long to finally get it going, and then those lights up there were pretty bright. 2000, there were some others up in the county, part of Bonneville County, Beaman County. But we had a company approach us as commissioners back when Commissioner Carter and I were in the seat, and Phil Jolly. And because of the location of it, where it was at, and the closest proximity to houses, why we actually turned that one down. But it does bring some money in, but you wonder how much, and obviously for those to work, they got to be subsidized by the government, and there can be benefit to it. And for me, I guess there's an application depending on where it is, and if it meets the requirements, why then I'll look at that and weigh that for a decision down the road. Okay, it's still on. Thanks again for the opportunity of being here, and thank you again for those that took their time to put this on. It's an important process to get to know the candidates. I've been there for a few terms. I feel like I've accomplished a lot of things, and I've worked hard on a balanced budget, and it's a process that's all year long, but we really focus on 4 months of that, and we just don't look at the department heads and their budget. They come in and we visit with them 3 or 4 times and keep that down where we feel that we need to, basically at the end, if there's some for cost of living for our employees, because the important part of the county is to keep retention with your employees at this time, the way that the economy is and things are going. But I enjoy being a county commissioner. I enjoy my work, and my dad always said, if you like what you're doing, then keep doing it. So thank you.
I'd like to tell you a story about the importance of voting. When I was on the school board, me and another fellow were running for the 1 seat in Firth, and this will tell you how many votes is cast. We each got 30 votes cast in each of our names. And so we were in a meeting, and we was trying to decide who was going to be the winner. And we were going to do a coin toss. And they proceeded with the coin toss, and I lost. It was just heads or tails. And then the lady, our secretary that is over the finances, she says, "Oh, I forgot we have a mail-in ballot that's in my office," and they confirmed that it hadn't been tampered with, and they all agreed that it should be open, and so they opened the vote or the ballot, and then I won. And so I would like to encourage you to not only go vote, which I know this is the voting community, but if you could get 1 or 2 more to go vote with you, that would be great.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Like the other gentleman said, there's a lot better things we could probably be doing tonight, but we're all here. I'm here to work for Beacon County. I'm here to work for our community I grew up in, and the community you folks have lived in for, I'm sure, your whole lives. Our voting numbers, from what I've seen, have not been the greatest. I think it's very important that we bring those numbers up. I hear a lot of folks out in the streets, even my age group or younger, what can we do about it? There's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do about it. We just got to deal with it. Well, there is something you can do about it. First of all, you can get involved in your community, which I'm doing. Second of all, you can go vote. Have your voice be heard. Okay? Let's take this seriously. It's our duty to vote. So please, thank you.
I appreciate this forum. It's important for us to do this so people know where we stand. For 29 years, I have been there for the community. And I have answered the call over 2,000 times when the 911 has gone off. And I know what it is to serve and what it is to bleed and see people suffer. And I know what we need to do. We need to prepare for the future and be prepared for the growth that is headed our way. Either we get together and deal with it now, or we're going to suffer. And I was raised in an area where I saw the suffering happen in Arizona as a young man. And that's why I love living here, because we don't let the grass grow under our feet. We take care of it and go after it. Thank you.